Representative McCrosty.
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the minutes of Friday, February 24th.
Thank you. It's been moved to approve the minutes of February 24th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Oh, and our secretary will take a silent roll. Committee, I'm going to move some agenda items to the top. One, because we have a teacher that we're honoring this morning, and she needs to get back to her classroom. And the other one is, so that would be HCR 26, and then Senate Bill 1094 I'd like to move up so Senator Ward Engelking can get back to her JFAC committee. So at this time, I would ask Representative McCrosty to come to the podium, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and fellow Education Committee members. For the record, I am Representative John McCrosty from District 16, which covers Garden City and parts of West and Northwest Boise. And I come before you today with House Concurrent Resolution 26, a concurrent resolution asking the Idaho Legislature to recognize Idaho teacher Sonia Galaviz. Ms. Galaviz was recently awarded on February 10th of this year the NEA Foundation Award for Teaching Excellence. She received this top award in a field of 40 national finalists. This in and of itself should be reason enough to recognize Ms. Galaviz with this resolution. But I think that when you learn of her background, her accomplishments, and her commitment to her students, you will find her to be a truly exemplary teacher and citizen. Sonia Galaviz was raised in North Idaho and graduated from Kellogg High School. Her parents didn't get more than an 8th grade education, but they instilled in Sonia the importance of hard work and education. After Ms. Galaviz completed her bachelor's degree from Boise State University in 2002, she began her teaching career in the Nampa School District teaching kindergarten. In 2006, she was named the Endeavor Elementary Teacher of the Year. In 2009, she was named one of the Idaho Business Review's Women of the Year for her outstanding leadership, mentoring efforts, and community involvement. In 2011, she received the Teaching Tolerance Award for Excellence in Culturally Responsive Teaching by the Southern Poverty Law Center for finding her students' hidden strengths through home visits and for supplementing her curriculum with materials that reflect her students' cultural background. Part of what sets Ms. Galaviz apart as that teacher that goes well above and beyond is that before the school year starts, she visits the home of each of her students to meet the family and to create a classroom culture that involves the family and the home cultures. She builds partnerships with her students and her families by including her family in class projects, by including the students' families in class projects, helping the family to know how to help the students with homework, and inviting the family to visit the classroom and celebrate the students' work. Ms. Galaviz is also a passionate STEM teacher. She creates community partnerships to further STEM efforts for not just her students, but also other students in the community. She obtained a $10,000 grant from NASA and Boise State to create STEM backpacks for the students at Garfield Elementary School in Boise. Ms. Galaviz's work as a STEM teacher was recognized in 2016 by the Idaho STEM Center with the Indeeds Award, standing for the industry's excellent educators dedicated to STEM. In 2016, Ms. Galaviz received the Marcia Nakamura Award for Teaching Excellence by the Idaho Education Association for her professional practice, advocacy, community engagement, leadership in professional development, and attention to diversity. In receiving this award, she became Idaho's nominee for the national award. And in a field of 40 national finalists, on February 10th, 2017, Sonia Galaviz received the top award as the NEA Foundation for Teaching Excellence for attaining the highest teaching standards, her exemplary instruction, her advocacy for her profession, and her staunch support of public education. Good committee members, I would love for you to get to know this amazing teacher for yourselves. And if it please the committee, I'd like to yield some time to Ms. Galaviz to share with you a little about who she is and her story and her passion for teaching. And Madam Chairman, could I yield some time to Ms. Galaviz?
Yes, please do. Thank you. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Galaviz.
Thank you so much. Good morning, representatives. Good morning, Chairwoman Van Orden. Thank you for asking me to be here this morning. When my friend and colleague, Representative John McCrosty, left a message on my phone to speak on behalf of a resolution, I couldn't really hear it. I was with my students. I'm thinking, yeah, definitely. What's it about? What are we talking about? And so yesterday we were in the middle of our growth and development talk, AKA the puberty talk. It's nothing but party in 5th grade. And so I stepped out to call John back and find out what was it that I could do to help. And as John was explaining, I'm like, oh, I'm speaking on behalf of me, like it's about me. And so I thought, goodness, I didn't fully understand what I was agreeing to. But that's pretty amazing, and I'm honored to be here this morning. A little bit about me. I'm an Idaho kid through and through. I grew up in northern Idaho in the Panhandle, in a little mining town in the Silver Valley. So for those of you who know northern Idaho, my father was a miner when I was young, and we always had a family landscaping business. I've often spoke of my father and my parents in general when I talk about the stock from which I come. My father was a migrant worker in southern Arizona. He picked cotton from the age of 3, so all 12 brothers and sisters were out in the fields picking cotton. Most of my aunts and uncles, they have a 3rd grade education, but my father insisted on going to school. He loved school and loved his teachers. Still to this day, my father's 75, can remember every single one of his teachers, and they made an impact on him. My mother was raised by a single mother with a few stepdads in and out, and had to leave school early to raise her younger brother and also to work. So I come from parents that have a passion for education and for hard work and for valuing education. My parents were fierce in their dedication towards my education. Doing well in school was never an option. It was a requirement in my home. Even in my years of teenage rebellion, school never slipped, grades never slipped, because that's just crazy, right? We didn't want to get too nuts. I came to Boise in the mid-90s to go to Boise State, and I was actually interested in a political science and communication major. I wanted to be here, actually, as a lobbyist maybe for some underdog nonprofit. But I started volunteering in a summer library at the Farmway Village Labor Camp in Caldwell. And I truly fell in love with teaching. Soon after that, I began working in a family literacy program, also in Caldwell, and that's where I really cut my teeth on education, where I was teaching both the parents and the children through children's books, and that was incredible to see that passion and that light for education in families. And it called to me. You often hear teachers talk about what we do as a calling, and I knew that's what I wanted to do for my life. I'm a product of public education, Idaho's public education system. I'm proud to serve in public schools, and I'm proud to be a member of the Idaho Education Association. In light of the recent attention on my practice, I'm often asked what it means to be a teacher. There's a legal term that I refer to that's called in loco parentis, which refers to a guardian or a caregiver over a child. And so how I see my role as a teacher is I stand for 6.5 hours a day as the replacement for the parent during that day. And so I make decisions for my classroom, for my students, as I would for my own 2 children, Max and Mackenzie. And so I hold my students to the same high standard that I would my own children. My students are an extension of my family. My classroom is an extension of my home. It is not uncommon for Miss G to become Mama G really quickly in the classroom. And teaching is a challenge every single day. I have some stories you would not believe. I work at Garfield Elementary, where we serve a high-needs population. We were just made into a community school by the Boise School District. Around 80% of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch. We have numerous programs, including visually impaired, extended resource. We're a language learning school. 35% of our students are minority ethnic and a growing refugee population. We have 18 languages spoken at Garfield, and as you know, over 100 languages spoken in the Boise School District. It's no joke. Working at Garfield requires you to bring your A game. It's a 21st century school with 21st century education. But what teachers do every day, we don't do it in a vacuum. We can't and don't do it alone. Public education and educators need the support of the families we serve, our community, and our legislature. The news is full of negative space right now. It's hard to listen to most days. It seems really easy to focus on the negative, the scandalous, the haters, as my students would say. However, there's so much good done in our community, and good things happen every day in public education, even the small things. A few days ago, my Syrian refugee, who is new to this country and new to Garfield just in November, she pulled me aside and she said, "Teacher, I understand. You speak, I understand." That was such a huge victory in that day. She was letting me know that she was acquiring the English necessary to understand, and it's like we both cried. It was incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, representatives, you have a unique charge. You represent the people of this great state and craft and pass laws that directly affect me, my job, my profession, my classroom, my children. It's interesting to watch bills rise and fall, get stuck in committee, gain momentum, etc. In all honesty, I get a little nervous sometimes at some of the bills that surface in this building. Supporting public schools is a worthy investment. It takes funding, yes, but more than that, it takes understanding of what educators like I do on a daily basis and the support we need to do it. We feed kids, clothe kids, visit them, counsel them, talk with their families, get families to and from medical appointments. And yes, of course, we teach them. I've worked very hard to build my practice so that I'm able to provide the best education possible for my students. I do this with a firm partnership with my parents and families. They are the first and most important teachers, and I know that. I can't do it without them. I know my families, they know me, they know my practice, they know what unit I'm teaching because I involve them, and above all, they know that I love and I advocate for their child. That leads me to you, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're up to your elbows in talking and debating bills every day that impact education. You're talking about school vouchers, charter schools, certification, teacher accountability, career ladders, master teacher premiums. This is important stuff. And while I'm the one standing here today, please know that the men and women that I teach with are as dedicated as I am. We come in early, we stay late, we worry and fret about our students each and every day, and we want to be the best educators we can. We invite high standards. Support us, though, and help us get there. I think we should hold each other accountable. We both have a job to do. What you do every day impacts me and my profession, and what I do every day teaches and raises the next generation. So I'm here, visiting you in your house, and now it's your turn to come and visit mine. Come and see what we do. If you don't personally know an educator in your district, you have an open invitation at Garfield. I'm in room 302, top floor. Come and see what we do. Come and see why I love what I do and what it is that and how your work impacts me. I'm proud to be an Idahoan. I'm proud to be a Boisean. I'm proud to be a Bronco, and I'm proud to be a Garfield Grizzly. I appreciate this honor and appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee questions? I believe we visited Garfield. Was it Garfield that we visited? Yes, we came to your school last year at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the session. We got to go to Garfield and see a product that you were using for your English language learners.
Imagine Learning. Mm-hmm.
And just being there and seeing the challenge, that was in itself an experience. So thank you very much for all you do.
Thank you.
Representative Mendive.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. For a comment? I, too, am a graduate of Kellogg High School. It's been a number of years, and I was quite a ways before you. We won't go there, but I really appreciate what you've done and how you've put Kellogg on the map. But mining communities tend to be historically rough communities. Their reputations are not good. Now it's really not so much a mining community anymore because there's not much mining going on up there. They used to call it Silver Valley. They may have to rename it. However, I just want to commend you. It's very impressive to see a fellow graduate from Kellogg High School succeed in the way you've succeeded. So thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
Any more? Yes, please. Before you is House Concurrent Resolution.
Madam
26, Representative Kirby.
Madam Chairman, I just also want to say that was really fun. It's so cool to have people with your enthusiasm and going and visiting those kids in their homes. That's a really big deal, and the parents have a good relationship with the parents and really understand the kids, and all the time and effort you put into is really, we appreciate it. And so thanks for coming and really making our morning really a lot more enjoyable, and seeing what we do out there, and your good words for us. That was good. Madam Chairman, I'd move that we would send HCR 26 to the floor with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you. Representative Amador.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick comment. Thank you for your service and all you do for our children. And just one quick comment. You mentioned you were visiting our house, but it truly is your house. It's the people's house. So you are welcome here anytime.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, committee. There's a motion on the table at this time to send House concurrent resolution to the floor with a due pass. Thank you, Ms. Galaviz, for being here today. I'll let Representative McCrosty take his seat. Okay, thank you. All those in favor of sending House concurrent resolution to the floor with a due pass, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. And thank you, Representative McCrosty, for that.